Every year, millions of households throw thousands of dollars directly into the trash without ever realizing it, all while watching their favorite plants struggle against pests and poor soil. We have been conditioned to believe that the only way to grow a lush garden, tend a vibrant balcony, or maintain a productive field to buy expensive, chemical-heavy bottles from the garden center. But the truth is that the most powerful, highly effective solutions for your plants are already sitting right inside your kitchen, waiting to be discovered. Most of us are making the costly mistake of treating our household waste as garbage instead of the goldmine it truly is for our soil. When you learn how to unlock the hidden potential of simple, everyday ingredients, you can completely transform your growing space for pennies. You are about to discover how to save money, protect the environment, and achieve the deepest green foliage and most abundant harvests you have ever seen. Before we dive into these incredible secrets, I want to invite you to join our growing family by subscribing to the channel so we can continue sharing these practical, natural remedies together. It means the world to have you here, and I would absolutely love it if you could drop your location in the comments below. Whether you are writing from a bustling city, a quiet village, a specific district, or a beautiful country across the globe, our community is made up of passionate growers from every corner of the world, and knowing exactly where you are cultivating your piece of earth helps me understand the unique climates and conditions our community is working with. It is truly amazing how the things we use daily can completely change the health of our plants. And a perfect example of this is something most people pour down the drain every single morning without a second thought. I am talking about leftover cooled black coffee, which is a powerhouse for acidic-loving plants that you can find right in your own kitchen pot. When coffee brews, it retains essential nutrients like nitrogen, potassium, and magnesium that plants desperately need to build strong cell walls and synthesize chlorophyll. If your garden soil feels heavy and depleted, or if your container plants are looking a bit pale, this simple liquid acts as a gentle, slow-release fertilizer that also slightly lowers the pH of the earth. To prepare this liquid gold, simply mix equal parts of brewed, black, unflavored coffee with clean water, ensuring it is completely cooled to room temperature so you do not shock the delicate root systems. For a home gardener tending to a few pots on a balcony or a small backyard raised bed, you can pour this mixture directly onto the soil around the base of your blueberries, azaleas, or tomatoes using a standard watering can. If you are a small or medium-scale farmer looking to apply this across a larger acreage, you can collect spent grounds from local cafes, steep them in large barrels of water for 48 hours to create a potent tea, and run it through your backpack sprayer or irrigation lines. The best time to apply this is early in the morning before the sun hits its peak, allowing the moisture to sink deep into the roots. And you should repeat this process once every 2 to 3 weeks to keep your crops thriving. But here is where it gets really interesting, because your morning routine actually holds another massive secret that usually ends up in the compost bin or the waste basket. Eggshells are something every household cracks open and tosses away. Yet they are made almost entirely of calcium carbonate, which is the exact building block plants use to prevent debilitating conditions like blossom end rot in tomatoes and peppers. When you see your beautiful ripening fruit suddenly develop a sunken, black, leathery patch at the bottom, that is a direct cry for help due to a lack of calcium in the soil. To turn these kitchen scraps into a highly bioavailable calcium supplement, first rinse your empty eggshells thoroughly and let them dry until they are completely brittle. Next, crush them into a fine powder using a mortar and pestle, a rolling pin, or a kitchen blender, because the smaller the pieces, the faster the soil microbes can break them down for the roots to absorb. Home gardeners can simply sprinkle a handful of this white powder directly into the planting hole when transplanting new seedlings, or gently scratch it into the top inch of soil around established plants. For our farmers managing rows of crops, you can scale this up by gathering larger quantities of shells, roasting them lightly to make them extra brittle, crushing them coarsely, and broadcasting them across your fields. using a lime spreader before a gentle rain. This remedy should be applied right at the beginning of the planting season to give the shells time to decompose, and then repeated mid-season when the plants begin to flower and set fruit. Most people throw this away without realizing what it can do. But if you look at the bottom of your fruit bowl, you might find the ultimate pest deterrent and nutrient boost just sitting there. Banana peels are absolutely packed with potassium, an element that helps plants regulate water pressure, transport starches, and build incredible resistance to environmental stress and disease. The sweet, tropical scent of a fresh peel changes completely into a rich, earthy aroma as it breaks down, signaling to the soil that a feast of nutrients has arrived. To make a simple banana peel tea, chop 3 or 4 peels into small pieces, submerge them in a quart of water inside a sealed jar, and let it sit on your counter for about 3 to 5 days until the liquid turns a deep, amber color. Home gardeners can strain this liquid and use it to water their flowering perennials, roses, and container vegetables, giving them a massive boost in bloom production. Farmers can easily scale this operation by utilizing large plastic drums, filling them with bulk fruit waste from local markets, letting it ferment, and diluting the strained concentrate at a 10-to-1 ratio with water to feed entire fields through a drip system. This potassium-rich tea works best when applied once every 2 weeks, during the active blooming and fruiting phase, preferably in the late afternoon, when the evaporation rates are low. Your grandmother probably knew this one, but somehow it got forgotten along the way, as modern chemical sprays took over the market. Baking soda is a staple in every pantry for baking and cleaning, but it is also an incredibly effective, natural antifungal agent that can halt powdery mildew in its tracks. You know that frustrating white, dusty coating that suddenly appears on the leaves of your cucumbers, squash, and roses, slowly choking out their ability to absorb sunlight? That is a fungal infection that thrives in humid weather, but baking soda alters the pH surface of the leaf, making it completely impossible for the fungal spores to attach and grow. To create this protective shield, dissolve 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of mild, liquid dish soap into 1 gallon of clean water, shaking it vigorously to ensure the powder is fully dissolved. The soap is crucial here because it acts as a surfactant, helping the mixture stick to the slick surface of the leaves instead of just rolling off onto the ground. Home gardeners can pour this into a handheld spray bottle and thoroughly coat both the tops and bottoms of all affected leaves until they are dripping wet. For larger agricultural operations, farmers can mix this exact ratio in large tanks and apply it across fields using tractor-mounted boom sprayers to protect entire crops of melons or leafy greens. This should be applied as a preventative measure once every 10 days, during warm, humid stretches, or immediately at the first sign of a white spot, making sure to spray only in the evening to avoid leaf scorch from the hot sun. The deep green of healthy plants can easily be maintained using another common household item that you most likely keep in your bathroom medicine cabinet. Epsom salt might sound like a chemical, but it is actually a naturally occurring mineral compound of magnesium and sulfate, which are the core components required for a plant to produce chlorophyll and absorb vital nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. When you notice the older leaves on your plants turning yellow while the veins stay stubbornly green, your soil is begging for magnesium. To fix this deficiency quickly, dissolve 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt into a gallon of water, which creates a crystal-clear solution that can be absorbed almost instantly through either the roots or the pores of the leaves. Home gardeners can use a watering can to drench the soil around heavy feeders, like peppers, tomatoes, and roses, or spray it directly onto the foliage for immediate relief. Small-scale farmers can add Epsom salt directly to their fertigation tanks, at a rate of about 20 pounds per acre, delivering a highly efficient dose of minerals to thousands of crops simultaneously. This treatment should be applied once a month during the peak growing season, right as the plant transitions from vegetative growth to flowering, ensuring maximum yield and vibrant health. As you walk through your garden, smelling the crisp scent of freshly turned soil and listening to the soothing sound of water soaking into dry earth, You might notice aphids or spider mites trying to ruin your hard work. Instead of reaching for synthetic insecticides that harm beneficial pollinators, you can head to your kitchen pantry and grab a bulb of garlic and a bottle of vegetable oil. Garlic contains high concentrations of sulfur compounds that act as a powerful natural repellent, creating a pungent barrier that pests simply cannot stand, while the oil works to suffocate soft-bodied insects without leaving toxic residues behind. To brew this potent pest defense, mince 2 whole bulbs of garlic and steep them in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil for 24 hours, then strain out the solids and mix the remaining liquid with a pint of water and a teaspoon of dish soap. When you are ready to spray, dilute just 2 tablespoons of this concentrated garlic oil mixture into a quart of clean water. Home gardeners can easily treat individual infected plants, targeting the undersides of leaves where pests love to hide from the sun. Farmers can scale this up by creating large batches of garlic puree using commercial blenders, straining the juice into bulk storage containers, and mixing it into their large field sprayers to protect expansive rows of brassicas or legumes. This natural repellent should be applied once a week during high pest seasons, always in the early morning or late evening, to prevent the oil from heating up under the sun and burning the delicate plant tissues. The rough texture of dried leaves and the natural debris around your home can also be paired with another item that often gets thrown away after a backyard barbecue or wood stove fire. Hardwood ash from a clean, chemical-free fire is an exceptional source of potassium and trace minerals, and its highly alkaline nature makes it perfect for balancing overly acidic soils. For generations, traditional growers have used wood ash to sweeten the soil, creating an environment where earthworms thrive and soil microbes can easily break down organic matter. To use this remedy safely, gather your completely cooled wood ash and pass it through a fine mesh screen to remove any large chunks of unburnt charcoal. Home gardeners can lightly dust a thin layer of this gray powder over their vegetable beds, taking care to keep it away from acid-loving plants like potatoes, which can develop scab disease in high pH environments. For farmers, spreading wood ash across fields at a rate of about 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet is a fantastic, cost-effective way to condition the soil and replace lost minerals before winter cover crops are planted. This should be applied once a year, preferably in the late autumn or early spring when the ground is bare, allowing the winter rains to gently wash the minerals deep into the earth's profile. Sometimes, the simplest solutions are the most profound, and you can even look to your morning breakfast bowl for a way to protect young seedlings from the devastating effects of fungal dampening-off disease. Ground cinnamon is a natural bactericide and fungicide that you can find right in your spice rack, and it works beautifully to protect vulnerable new sprouts as they emerge from the dark soil. When you see a tray of healthy seedlings suddenly collapse at the soil line and wither away overnight, you are witnessing the work of soil-borne fungi. By lightly dusting the surface of your seed-starting soil with a thin layer of ground cinnamon, you create an invisible, aromatic barrier that destroys fungal spores while leaving the young plant completely unharmed. Home gardeners can use a simple spice shaker to dust their small seed trays, while farmers can mix cinnamon powder into their bulk seed-starting mixes, or apply it to large greenhouse tables to ensure high survival rates for their cash crops. This protective dusting needs to be done just once, right after sowing your seeds, and it will keep the surface safe until the plants develop their strong, true leaves. Every single one of these remedies proves that when you shift your perspective and look at your household items through the eyes of nature, your reliance on expensive store-bought chemicals completely vanishes. You have the power to feed your soil, protect your crops, and heal the environment using the very things that are already within your reach every single day. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and if you found these natural solutions helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel so we can continue this beautiful journey of sustainable growing together. Don't forget to share your city, village, or country in the comments below, because whether you are watching from a high-rise apartment balcony with a few precious pots, or from the middle of a vast farming field that feeds hundreds of people, this channel is a space built just for you. Stay tuned, because in our very next video, we are going to explore how a common backyard weed can be turned into a high-nitrogen liquid fertilizer that will make your plants grow twice as fast, and you definitely won't want to miss it.